So, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in our audience this afternoon, if I can once again ask for your attention, we will in very brief time begin the 10-meter air pistol women's final. And as per usual, we will begin that with the entry of the athletes, where all of them will be presented by me as they enter from your right-hand side. And while that is happening, I of course expect all of you to show them some appreciation and some respect by applauding all of them. So should we just try a trial run? Everyone, the drums, we need to get the drums ready. Yes? Use your drum on it, beat the drum. Yes, okay, that's good. You'll have to do better, but okay, fair enough. So, let's get to it. On firing point A, representing Denmark, Heidi Bergholt Madsen. And on firing point G, representing Germany, Susanne Neisinger. On firing point C, representing Germany, Selina Becker. On firing point D, from Denmark, Louise Rasmussen. On firing point E, representing Germany, Sarah Zauermann. And on firing point F, representing Norway, Johanna Reksten. On firing point G, from Denmark, Christina Pop Hansen. And on firing point H, representing Norway, Anne Helene Aune.
Take your positions. Five minutes preparation and sighting time. Start.
So, dear audience, once again, it is an absolute privilege to welcome all of you to the finals hall for the 10-meter air pistol women's final here at Day 3 at Denmark Open Air 2026. So, as dictated almost by tradition by now, I will give you a brief run-through of the finals format, just in case that some of you out there have never seen anything like this before. And I expect that is going to be a minority, but nonetheless, I will keep going. So, what the athletes are doing now is basically their preparation and sighting time, for which they have 5 minutes, and they have currently spent about 50 55 seconds on that. And the entire point of their preparation and sighting time is to allow them to make the final adjustments for this particular range, for any differences there might be between the finals range and the qualification range, or wherever they have been shooting before that, or whatever they have been doing. So they are able to zero in into the middle of the target. They're able to work on the minor adjustments that are needed to make the foundation for their performance in the actual competition part of this final as good and proper as possible. So, when that is done in about 3 minutes and 22 seconds, we will transition into the actual competition part of this final, where we will begin with 2 series of 5 shots each. And each series will be shot within a time of 4 minutes 10 seconds. After that, we once again transition, and this time we transition into the elimination phase of their final. And that basically means that they will be shooting single shots on command. And they have a time of 50 seconds to execute each shot, and following every second shot, the lowest ranking athlete will be eliminated. Meaning that following our 12th shot, we will eliminate number 8. After 14, it will be number 7, and so on, until we reach 22 shots, where we will decide our bronze medal, and 24, where gold and silver will be decided. So, that is how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. But now for the more important part, because we want to try to engage all of you. And, well, we have 3 nations represented in today's final. We have Denmark, Germany, and Norway. So, first of all, let me hear, do we have anyone supporting Germany in the crowd? Ooh, it's gonna be tough. You have my support, Germany, definitely, I promise you. Okay, well, how about, well, the Norwegians are always so noisy, so do I really dare ask you? Yeah, okay, are you guys supporting Norway, you guys with the drums? Yeah. Oh, damn. Well, the issue with asking the question on whether or not there are Norwegians in the hall is that it always takes so damn long for you guys to finish making noise. Take off half my speech, it's super crazy. So, now that we have established that there are some Norwegians in here and they are indeed very noisy, how about Denmark? Well, the only difference I can see there is the definite lack of drums, because they've all been stolen by the Norwegians. Damn. Well, that means that the Danes will just have to shout a bit louder. Your throats will be sore, but that's just, you know, what you'll have to give for the cause. Anyway, I don't have much else to say than please show all your love and appreciation for these athletes, and please make some noise and create a wonderful atmosphere in this final. So, let us show some appreciation and make some noise! Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the final.
Preparation and sighting time. Stop. For the first contest series, load. Start. Stop.
And here, following the first 5-shot series, we have in the lead with a score 50.1 from Germany, Sarah Tauermann. And half a point behind her from Denmark with 49.6. In second position, Louise Rasmussen. And a further 1.1 behind her with a total of 48.5. From Norway, Johanna Reksten.
For the next contest series, load. Start.
And following the second 5-shot series, we have a new woman in the lead with a total score of 98.6 from Denmark, Louise Rasmussen. And Louise is 0.6 of a point ahead of second position from Germany, Selina Becker. And Selina Becker is in turn another 0.1 of a point ahead of her compatriot from Germany. In third position, Sarah Tauermann. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I briefed you on before, we are transitioning into the elimination phase of this final. And currently in danger of elimination after the next two single shots, we have in 8th position with a total score of 93.5 from Denmark, Heidi Bergholt Madsen. However, she's only 1/10 of a point behind 7th position Norwegian Johanne Reksten.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we make a decision for the 8th position in this final, the difference between Heidi Bergholt Madsen of Denmark and Johanna Reksten of Norway in 7th is still only 1/10 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 8th position in today's final from Norway, Johanna Reksten. And Heidi Bergholt Madsen managed to save herself this time around, but she is yet again in danger of elimination after the next two single shots. She is currently in 7th position, and she has to make up the difference of 3.4 points up to safety in 6th position, where her compatriot Louise Rasmussen is currently at the top of the scoreboard with a total of 118.6 in 1st position from Germany, Sarah Tauermann. And she is 1.1 ahead of the Norwegian in 2nd position, Anne Helene Aune.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we decide our 7th position, the difference that Heidi Bergholt Madsen has to make up has unfortunately slowly increased. It is now 4.1 between herself and the safety of 6th position.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 7th position from Denmark, Heidi Bergholt Madsen. And currently in 6th position and within the danger zone of possible elimination after the next 2 single shots, we have from Denmark, Louise Rasmussen. But she only has to make up 1.1 point, which is absolutely doable within the range of 2 shots. At the other end of the scoreboard, we still have the German Sarah Tauermann in 1st position. She is 1.8 points ahead of the 2nd position German Susanne Neisinger, who is in turn 0.2 of a point ahead of the Norwegian in 3rd, Anne-Helene Aune.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we make a decision for 6th position, we still have Louise Rasmussen of Denmark inhabiting that. Currently, she is 1.2 points behind Selina Becker of Germany, who is in 5th position.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 6th position in today's final from Denmark, Louise Rasmussen. And now for the next couple of positions, we have a very tight match. Currently in 5th position and in danger of elimination after our next 2 shots, but only with a deficit of 4/10 of a point from Norway, and Helene Aune. And still in the lead of this final, we have in 1st position from Germany, Sarah Tauermann. But she is only 0.8 of a point ahead of the Dane Christina Pop Hansen in 2nd position.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And here, ladies and gentlemen, before we make our decision for 5th position in this final, the difference between Anne-Helene Aune of Norway and safety is now 0.9 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a shoot-off for the next elimination between Anne-Helene Aune of Norway and Christina Pop Hansen of Denmark.
For the next shot, it's for firing point G and H. For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And following this shoot-off, taking 5th position, representing Norway, Anne Helene Aune. And now we are really getting into it. Tension is rising. The fight to stay within the medals is currently going stronger and stronger. Now we have in 4th position with a deficit of 1.2 points from Denmark, Christina Pop Hansen. And new in the lead with a total of 176.5 and a lead of 0.4 of a point from Germany, Susanne Neisinger.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we decide our 4th position in this final, the difference that Christina Pop Hansen has to make up in the next shot is 3.2 points. At the other end of the scoreboard, it is worth noting that the top-ranked Germans are shooting incredibly well. We have a 10.7 from Susanne Neisinger and a 10.8 from Sarah Tauermann.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And unfortunately, a great 10.5 was not enough, taking 4th position from Denmark, Christina Pop Hansen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the situation we have is an entirely German podium. Currently in 3rd position with a deficit of 1.8 from her 2 compatriots, we have Selina Becker. And in the lead, but only with 1/10 of a point down to the 2nd position, we have Sarah Tauermann. And as I said, she is closely followed by her teammate, Susanne Neisinger.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we have the privilege of handing out the first medal, the difference between Selina Becker and a possible change of color on her medal is 1.1.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And she almost made it with the smallest margin imaginable, taking the bronze medal representing Germany, Selina Becker. However, ladies and gentlemen, we surely are in for a thriller, because the difference between Sarah Tauermann in first position and Susanne Neisinger in second is now just 0.4 of a point before the two last shots.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And we have a change in position now. In first position, we have Susanne Neisinger after shooting a 10.3. And the difference between her and Sarah Tauermann in second position is 0.7 of a point before the deciding shot.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And our silver medalist representing Germany, Sarah Tauermann. And our gold medalist from Germany, Susanne Neisinger. And once again, dear audience, I want to remind you to please stay put, because the medal ceremony for this final will begin immediately.